Hi, Darcy here teaching Stretch and Stabilize. It's a 30-minute sequence that's great for post working out at the gym, a recovery day, or if you're like a lot of people and you don't do any stretching and tying your shoelaces is really difficult. So we're going to just jump right into class. And what you need for class is a yoga strap. I couldn't find mine, so I'm using a bathrobe belt. Works just as wonderfully. A blanket and a block if you've got a block. Water bottles sometimes work as well if you don't have a block. So let's get right into it. I'm going to get everyone to lie down onto their back. And move any props aside that you might have. And take your feet wide. And just place your fingertips on your belly. So don't really consider this a yoga class, a traditional yoga class in the sense of we're not going to be using a lot of Sanskrit terminology. It's going to be a little bit more science-based. I'm going to start with some breathing. So with your fingertips on your belly, I want you to breathe into your ribcage first, navel, and low belly. So you're going to feel everything get big and expand, and then you're going to do the reverse. So low belly, mid, rib cage. You're going to keep doing the same breath in through the rib cage, navel, low belly, and then navel, low belly, rib cage. And the idea here is that we're just bringing some attention to how we breathe and how we stabilize the trunk of our torso and how that stability translates into all of the movements that we're going to do today. So on your next exhalation, I want you to go all the way to the end, all the way, and you feel your low abdomen muscles start to tone in order to push that last little breath out. I want you to hold that tone. And then when you breathe in through your rib cage, navel. You're going to keep that toned lower abdomen. And as you exhale, you're going to find a stronger tone there. And ideally, you're going to breathe in and out through your nose. And at any point in class, if you're feeling like there's some intensity that you want to just shed some of the intensity or the stress of it, you're just going to open your mouth and go. And the mouth exhalations are really good for more cardio work, where the focus is heavily on your core stability. But we're doing some grounding abdominal breathing here. And straighten your left leg nice and strong. Point your toes towards the ceiling. You're going to bend your right knee in towards your chest and interlace your hands on the belly of your hamstring. And from here, just roll your shoulders back into position. You want a straight back body or a neutral back body. And the real effort is happening, the real work is happening in your legs and in your arms. So you're going to pull your elbows towards the floor, towards your mat. And as you bend the elbows, you're going to feel your upper quadriceps start to squish into your hip crease, your hip flexor muscles. Nice. And then from here, I want you to imagine you're pulling your knee towards the floor without your arm strength. So you're going to feel your hip flexor muscles start to activate here. Those muscles shorten, so you're going to feel a tension in your hip crease. And then you're going to pull a little bit tighter. And use those diaphragmatic breaths that we were doing before. So big inhales and these controlled exhalations where you're finding your core stability as you do the breaths. And I'm going to get you to slowly start to make big circles with your right leg. And your left arm's going to impede you from going any wider. And so you're going to let it go and just use your right arm to create these big circles. So this right here is your current range of movement or mobility. So without any assistance, it's at its resting place. This is as far open as your hips will get, so this external movement. And then as you bring your knee closer to the midline of your body, this is your internal movement, your internal rotation. And this is your starting point. This is the benchmark that we work from. So we're going to be playing with a little bit of hip mobility today. And this is really just where we get to explore where we are. Good. From here, I want you to extend your right leg straight long, rest it on your mat. Bend your left knee in. And again, same thing. So interlace your fingertips behind your, between your hamstring and your calf muscle. And you're going to start to pull the elbow down. And as if you're trying to push your left knee away from you or hug it close to your chest. So either one might feel more appropriate, or you might get more activity out of your hip crease there. And whichever one gives you the best activity, that you feel the tension in your hip crease. And you feel your leg getting a little bit closer and closer to your rib cage. And we keep the right leg straight and strong so that we keep the hips from curling up off the floor. We don't want the hips to move the posture into the low back. We want to keep it in your hip crease and squeeze a little tighter. And then releasing your right hand, you're going to start to make those big circles again. So you might find your left is different than your right. And you might even find letting go of your leg and just doing the movement with the strength and the flexibility that already exists within your hip. And so big circles. You might feel a little cracking. And again, this is your benchmark. This is where you get to work from. Good. Come back to center. Bend both of your knees. Place your feet on the floor. You're going to do a couple of just mini bridges. So palms on the floor. I like to take my hands wide, arms wide, shoulders flush against the floor. So sometimes tucking them back so that the shoulder blades are resting right on the floor is helpful. So you're going to just lift your bum off the floor about 2 inches. And at first it's just kind of dangle. And then I want you to push your heels down until you feel your glutes start to fire up. And you put your left foot down. It's going to fire that glute up and lift your hip a little higher. You're going to push your right foot down, and it's going to fire your right glute up, and it's going to kind of sway from left to right. You're just waking these muscles up. And you're not going very high, and we're going to bring some breath into it. So take a full breath in, and on your exhalation, go all the way to the end. Find that core stability that we found at the beginning of class. Hold that there. Big breath in. Exhale. Good. 2 more big breaths like this. And each time you exhale, just lifting your hips maybe a millimeter higher. You're not going into a full bridge. This isn't so much about the big back bend as it is about the back body waking up. So we're waking up the hamstrings, the glutes. Good. Now you're going to lower your hips almost to the floor. And on your exhale, you're going to lift your hips back up. So your whole upper body remains on the floor, and it's just your hips that are lifting and bridging. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. I was doing a bunch of lunges at the gym yesterday, so this is making my glutes just shake. One more, last one. Good. Lower your efforts down. Just rest your whole back body into the floor. Big breath into your tummy. And a big breath out. And 2 more just like that. So if you are an active gym goer, you know that between each set are these 30 to 60 second resting points. And in this sequence, you're going to find we're going to be doing 3 breaths, big breaths, as these resting points between a lot of activity. Just so that we can mirror the same consistency. And also integrating this calming, restorative breath work. Okay, that was way more than 3, but that felt good. All right, so left foot, you're going to plant it on the floor. Lift your right leg up into the sky. You're going to start by straightening your leg. Flex your toes towards your face. Turn your toes out to the side using only your leg strength. So no hand work here. You're going to bend your right knee and slowly keep the leg really strong. So toes towards the shin, keep your upper leg strong, bend the knee, and then place it on your left thigh. And options, there's tons of options in this class. So you're going to push your knee away from you using just the strength in your leg. And provided you feel no knee pain here, you're absolutely welcome to take it deeper. You can also stay here, especially if you're working with some really intense hip tightness. And the work for you, if you're staying here, is just relaxing the leg and then pushing the knee away from you using just your leg strength. So using the muscles that wrap around the hip structure in order to do this movement. So you're going to relax, you're going to push it away. And if you are of the more category, you have a little bit more range of mobility you want to work with, you're going to foot your left foot off the floor. And you're going to bring your knee closer towards your chest. But you're not using any hands right now. So ankle pushes into the top of your thigh. Pull your thigh into your ankle. So those 2 points of contact, they create this pressure and this tension around the right hip and the left hip crease. So you're going to push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. Maybe you bring your leg in a little bit closer. Maybe you don't. One more big breath here. And place your left foot down. Good. Straighten your right leg towards the sky. And then take your right hand, catch the back of your right knee, and just bring your knee out to the side. You're going to make a big hip circle, so as wide as you can get it. And with your hand on the inside of your thigh, you're going to push up into your hand. Push, 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 push. Push, 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 push harder. So your hand is keeping your leg from actually going anywhere. You're going to feel the outside of your right hip start to fire right up here. So one more push, one more push, one more push, one more breath. Good. And place your right foot down. Shake anything out that feels like it needs a good shake. And then straighten your left leg up to the sky. And as toes, draw them towards your face. So really strong thigh. So you're going to slide your quadricep away from your kneecap. Push your heel higher. You're going to feel that good stretch in the back of your hamstring when you do that. And then you're going to turn your toes out to the 10 o'clock position if you're looking upwards and you're staring at a clock. And then bend your knee. And you're going to go really slow because we're using muscular strength to get us in and out of these postures. You're going to place your ankle over your right thigh. And again, your option is to stay here and just work on pushing your knee towards the front of your mat. And then releasing, and then pushing and releasing. So you can do that on repeat and with your breath. So really long, slow inhales as you release. Long, slow exhales as you take it a little bit deeper. And again, if you're taking this further, option 2 is to hover your right foot off the floor and you're pushing your ankle into your thigh as you pull your knee closer towards your chest. So push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. You're going to take it to your end range of mobility. So the place where physically there's nowhere left to go without you compensating elsewhere. So if I were to start compensating, I would just curl my tailbone up and be like, oh, look how further I got. I don't want that. I want to keep that soft curvature in the low back. Your hip bone's down. Your creases are starting to tighten as you push your ankle into your thigh and pull your thigh into your ankle. 3 more breaths here. Good. Right foot down, straighten your left leg towards the sky. Hand to the back of your hamstring, so left hand, left hamstring. I'm just going to pull it out to the side. So as wide as your leg goes. And when your knee is approximately 90 degrees away from the body, you're going to push your hand into the inside of your knee and then resist it by pushing your knee back into your hand. So just notice what muscles start to fire in the upper quad, your hip crease. Even your core muscles want to start getting involved. And you're going to push and pull as hard as you can. All the strength you've got in your body, like you're trying to close your knee towards the center line of your body. Pull, pull, pull. Long, slow breaths, really stable core. Last push, you've got this. And release your efforts. Both feet are on the floor. Just going to swivel your hips out a couple of times. Really nice. So you can roll over onto your side and come up to a tabletop position. I like to just roll forward. Makes me feel like I'm a little kid again. So tabletop position. Hands wide. Spread your fingertips wide. This is really, really tough on your wrists. You can start with pounded fists. The alternative is to grab your trusty blanket and just place your hands on the blanket and your fingertips forward of the blanket. So there's just less pressure on your wrists here. Good. Starting with a few cat-cow. So round your back, chin to your throat, tailbone towards your knee or your belly button. And stay here for a second. I want you to push your fingertip pads down until you feel the space between your shoulder blades puff right up. Good. Find that really long exhalation. So a nice stable exhale. And inhale, keep that stability as you lengthen out through the front of your torso. Lift your chin, lift your tailbone. And exhale, round your back. And one more just like that. Good. From here, come to a neutral spine. You're going to keep that puffing space between your shoulder blades. So a nice big, broad back body. Push your fingertips down as if you're trying to drag them away from one another. You're going to feel the muscles of your back body start to light up even further. Good. Curl your left toes under. Lift your right leg up. So straight leg. And you're going to just make big circles with your right knee. So we're coming back to this movement. We're going 3 circles one direction. You're going to the full direction that you've got in your body. So go as wide as you can, go slow. And you're going to switch and go the other direction. So whatever is your non-dominant direction tends to be the clunky one, the one that kind of looks a little messier. And it's the one we tend to rush through, so just pay attention to those unstable areas. Good. Bring your hips back. Just give your body a little bit of rest. Notice if your wrists are getting sore. Adjust your wrist placement if they are. And same other side. So lift your left leg up. You're going to make big circles. And find that nice space between your shoulder blades. Press down through your hands. And resist the urge to make it just about hips. So rolling the hips open. Try and keep your hips really stable, neutral. And remember to go both directions. So 3, last one. Good. From here, move any props that you might have aside. Bring your knees wide. And going as wide as you can with your legs, toes pointed back. And you can bring your forearms down. That's not physically possible. Arms are straight. Good. And from here, you're going to roll some of the weight forward and just push your knees into the floor until you feel your inner thighs start to light up. And push, push, push for 3, 2, 1. Release your efforts. Bring your hips back. Good. Chest forward just slightly. Push, push, push. So push with all your strength. And relax. One more. So hips forward. If your knees allow you to take them wider, your inner thighs have started to open up a little bit. Take them wider. You're going to push, push, push. For 3, 2, 1. And then bring your hips back, knees forward, downward facing dog. And lift your right leg up towards the sky. And place your foot on the outside of your right hand and lower your left leg. If your left knee is feeling a little tense here, you can roll your blanket up, place it right underneath. So right knee is out to the side. push your big toe mound down and try to roll your knee in towards your armpit. So you're going to squeeze it in really tight for 1, 2, and 3. Relax and let the knee just hang open. Toe's going to roll up off of the floor. Good. From here, you're going to push your right knee away from you. So push it outwards, 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 using just the strength of your leg for 3, 2, 1. Good. And we're going to do that one more time. So roll your knee in. So hug it in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You're going to feel the pressure on the left hip crease. And you can press down through the top of your left foot. And you can even do that till the knee hovers just slightly. Now squeeze your right leg in tighter for 3, 2, 1, and release. Knee out to the side. Toe is going to lift. Push your knee out to the side. So push. Nice long deep breaths here. With 3, 2, 1, and curl your back toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward dog. And lift your left leg up and place it to the outside of your left hand. So uncurl your back toes. This side, same as the other side. So you're going to hug your left knee in. See how I'm just bringing the knee in towards my the back of my tricep. And you're squeezing and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I like to press down through the top of my right foot as I do that so everything gets hugged in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release your efforts. You're going to push the knee outward this time. So the toe rolls up. All the weight is on the outside blade edge of your foot. And you're pushing. Just the strength of your left leg. Draw it away from you. 3, 2, 1, and now bring it in. So knee in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Last breath. Knee away from you, draw it outwards, and push. Good. Back inwards. You're going to bend your right knee, bring your hips back, and you can go into downward dog or even to a tabletop position. And just sway your hips from side to side. Everyone, and downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up and place your knee towards the center of your mat and turn your toes out. You're going to lower your left knee and turn your knee out to the side, outside edge of your mat. So you're kind of making this little zigzag shape. Both legs are approximately 90 degrees away from the body. And you're just going to bring the weight into your hands and lean over your right leg. So from here, you're going to attempt to lift your left knee off of the floor. Now, if you're really good, you can lift your knee and your ankle. I'm not that good. I think I spend too much time at the gym. So you're going to attempt to lift your left knee off of the floor for 3, 2, and 1. Relax your efforts. Good. We're going to do that again. So same thing as before. You're going to lift your knee off of the floor. And if you really want to test out your balance, you're going to lift one hand away from the floor and then both hands and then take them into fists. 3, 2, 1, and lower your efforts. We're going to go right into the other side. So you're just going to windshield wipe your knees and move into the opposite side. So left leg 90 degrees away from the body, right leg 90 degrees away from the body, ish. So starting with the weight forward, you're going to flex and lift your right leg up away from your body or the ground. Good. Option to stay here or hands into fists. So squeeze, lift it higher, lift it higher, lift it higher. You've got it. And release your efforts. And come back to center, feet together. And just bring your heels as close to your inner thighs as possible. You're going to start by pushing your heels in towards one another. I always grab onto my toes. It just seems to be the thing I do. Lift your chest up tall, push your heels tighter, and start to pull your outer thighs towards the floor. And find that nice diaphragmatic breath. Release your efforts. Slide your feet away from you. You can grab your block if you wish, and just place your hands, your forehead onto your block. And take a restorative forward fold. And you're allowing your breath to be a little bigger, a little less active. Send it into the back side of your body. And one of the most wonderful things about breath is that it does not discriminate. You will find the darkest places of your being and shed light, attention into those areas. And no matter what you're doing in your day, it's always there and available to you. And slowly bring yourself up. And if you've got some extra time in your practice, you're more than welcome to keep playing along, but our time here is done, so have a great day.